No better time to jump into this. It's that time every single week where we drag Jarret from out of his 4K closet and welcome him to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be out of the cupboard of shame for once and able to talk about physical media in a healthy, open environment. But there's not a great deal to talk about this week, gentlemen, because I'll tell you this. I do have some news, though, so I'm not going to just, keep it short and sweet. There is only one release this week on home entertainment. And understandably, because
it's a big one.
It's a big one. It's like the Barbie week where no one really wanted to go up against Barbie on home entertainment. So it's Universal releasing Oppenheimer on all the formats. I have mentioned in the past the special feature content, so I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to let you know it's out on home entertainment. And now that it's out on home entertainment, I'm going to check it out because I can comfortably watch this movie at a 3-hour plus duration from home and in 4K with Dolby Atmos.
Some might say it's the biggest bomb of the year.
There you go.
They walked into that one.
And in true bomb fashion, I have no interest in rewatching it.
Oh, yeah, of course, because both of you guys have seen it, and you've probably seen it in the best presentation that you could see it in on IMAX. So,
well, I mean, some would say that. I don't think anything is preferable in IMAX, but
I don't rate IMAX too much, to be honest. Especially last one I saw, I think was I did see E.T. when they did and that was reformatted for IMAX and whatever, and it was spectacular, and it was great to hear it. And it was a good way to see a film that I've seen many times differently, rescoped and whatnot. But the last one I saw that was a new release was June, which had the switching ratio between IMAX and traditional. I did not enjoy the experience.
I've got no interest in watching things in IMAX when they actually utilize the entire screen. Like that to me is overwhelming and too much. Like if they present it in like a letterbox on IMAX, then that's not a problem, But with Nolan, he fucking flip flops between formats, and it's like, what, shit, what?
Well, I even felt that with June as well, in that I was like, it would.
Oh, Jarrett's frozen. I think his back went out, Ben.
Yeah. I was going to say though, while Jarret paused, like I'll reserve all my opinions on IMAX until I see the first IMAX porno. They can switch all the aspect ratios they want.
Yes, well, Jesus.
Why are we looking at this sandworm and then realised that old mate Timothy Chalamet was at the bottom of the screen, and I was like, oh.
So my question to you, Jarret, is that entire time you were talking, we saw you frozen, and we had a conversation. Did you Did you not see any of our conversation?
No, I was too busy having a rant about June in IMAX. So at least you won't offend any of the June fans.
Wait till you watch this back. And
at least we didn't miss anything good.
Well, you did.
Well, I did, clearly. Yes. Yeah. I hope you asked a question and then I came back agreeing to it. It was something I normally wouldn't
agree to. Well, let's just say, I mean, it relates to sandworms, so.
Oh, okay. Fair enough then. Fair enough. All right. Well, some news, gentlemen, some news. So this is pretty exciting. Warner have got some titles coming up, back catalogue titles that Roadshow will be releasing in December. I think they're scheduled for around December 5th. And again, these ones are kind of come out of nowhere. We've got, Andrew Davis's The Fugitive from 1993, which is the feature adaptation of the 1960 TV series.
Love that film.
Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones, quotable as hell.
I heard just recently, and I have done absolutely no research into The Fugitive other than loving the film and just watching it, that it was a nightmare to make. Have you heard this?
I haven't.
But there's a commentary with Andrew Davis and Harrison Ford. It was on the existing and I think like the 30th anniversary.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, I mean, I consider that to be one of the few perfect films. Like it is a flawless movie in my eyes.
Yeah, I love it. I almost don't look. I didn't click on the article. I saw it was like a clickbait thing.
Yeah,
and I was like, well, look, I don't want to know. I don't need anything to ruin this film for me.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that when you do have a troubled production for whatever reason, whether it's the cast not getting along or the director not getting along with the cast, or force sort of Mother Nature interfering, and if a film manages to survive all of those problems and turn out to be fantastic, it's a hell of an achievement. Yeah. Look at Waterworld.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, me being the sequel guy, what do you think of US Marshals?
US Marshals. I did see it theatrically, and I only saw it once, which was
I like it. I mean, and that's not me just being me. I think it's a decent movie.
I think it was all right. Yeah, like I felt like it was a bit more like, although, you know, obviously it's got some huge set pieces and clearly it's got a lot of money behind it, but it did feel a little bit more like a direct-to-video sequel, just with, you know, ridiculous budget. But I was a huge fan of Wesley Snipes at the time as well, so, you know, I would basically watch anything he was in. I saw Boiling Point? I saw that theatrically, so I would have watched anything with Wesley Snipes, and of course Passenger 57.
I mean,
gentlemen, for the second week in a row,
yeah,
Passenger 57, always bet on black.
Yes, that's
Arsenio.
Like, I'm in the same boat as you. I saw it theatrically, and I remember I must have just seen Big Lebowski theatrically as well, because when I went to Village Cinemas in the city, and they had the bar then, and that was still like relatively, like, most cinemas didn't have alcohol service, and I went in and asked for a White Russian, and the guy behind the counter had no idea what I was talking about, and I was like, I think it was just Kahlua and milk, I think, and then maybe some vodka in there. No. Whatever.
I'd been in that predicament also when I worked in a cinema and they gave me a bar shift because someone didn't turn up, and I said, well, apart from like popping the top on beers and maybe pouring the odd glass of wine, I don't know how to make cocktails, let alone, you know,
also, did you
complex
have
spirits. Yeah, no. This was the Hoyt's Regent Cinema, and they had like a little bar, and it was.
No, but did you have your serving?
Oh, RSA, yeah, it was. I had to do the RSA as part of my role, so I think because I was of age and I had the RSA, they made me do it.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, the very first person that came in asked for a White Russian, and I was like, look, I've seen Big Lebowski many times, but I have no clue. And so they just, you know, coached me through it, and I just made it for them on the spot.
It's a tasty beverage. It's a tasty beverage, but I do prefer the dirty Black Russian.
Yeah. On the topic of the White Russians, actually, I just revisited recently The Devil's Advocate, which I'd only ever seen once prior. And I saw that shortly after I saw Big Lebowski, because I was at a friend's house and he just made White Russians all night until we ran out of something. And then eventually we were just drinking milk and something. And we watched that and Last Man Standing. And my memories of both of those films are very poor. And I've been reluctant to revisit them because I fear that, like, it's going to be an acid trip, going to bring back all that night.
And milky memories.
Yeah, and I remember I actually had vomited down his hallway all the way to the bathroom, and I didn't realize this until the following morning because it was his parents' place. I'd actually ripped the seat off the toilet, so I must have been violently ill, ripping the seat off the toilet and throwing up. But I did revisit Devil's Advocate the other night, no flashbacks, and I really enjoyed the film. So I think I'm going to do Last Man Standing this weekend, but completely off topic.
I would say avoid Last Man Standing if you haven't seen any of the Dollars movies.
Oh, yeah, I have not seen the trilogy yet. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for Ben's other podcast to pop up, his side project podcast, so I can sit down and finally watch those three films, or in particular, the one that, you know, everyone talks about.
The big one. I think
the big one.
The funny thing is, like, if you watch it, you'll be disappointed with for a fistful of dollars. You'd be like, this is just a ripoff of Last Man Standing.
I was just looking because I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I do.
The version is much better.
Look, I've even bought it in readiness. Look, here it is. It's waiting.
Oh, there it is.
Waiting for its. It's still sealed, as you can see, in shrink wrap. I think it's the third time I've owned it because I've owned it on DVD, Blu-ray, and now 4K. Still not seen it, but I know that it's something that I'm probably going to love. I'll be bitterly disappointed if I don't, because I've really invested in this film over the last 20 odd years. So.
I'll have to record the pilot.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the news, I haven't told you the news. So the two titles that are coming out, well, I did tell you about The Fugitive, but I haven't told you about the other title. The other title that's coming out. Oh, and sorry, The Fugitive's going to have Dolby Atmos. So I'm very excited. Plus, it's a proper restoration. It's been overseen by Andrew Davis as well, so it's going to look schmicko. I'm really excited. And
he needs to make another movie.
Agreed, absolutely. But the other title, I'll give you a little hint. Okay, so it's got what one of the actors that's in it. It was I think it was her first film, to be honest.
When did this turn into a gameplay?
Oh, well, I figured I'd throw a bit of game in there. Now she is rumored to be a sex trafficker. I know it's a bit of a conspiracy theory. So this is her first film, and she is rumored to be a sex trafficker. It also stars another actress / stand-up comedian, and this was her first dramatic role. And she's completely turned
Whoopi.
Yeah, Whoopi on The View. Not great, always getting her back up against.
It's not Jumping Jack Flash.
No, God, I wish it was Jumping Jack. No, that's trapped in the 20th Century Fox library. So don't think we'll see a 4K of that. It is The Color Purple. Yes, great. It's obviously coming out because they've got the new adaptation coming out early next year.
Oprah Winfrey. Okay.
Yes, yeah, Oprah Winfrey. Yeah, the rumor is that. That's one of the.
She's an Epstein crony.
Yeah, a crony of Epstein. Yeah. But that one's coming out on 4K. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing it doesn't have Dolby Atmos. I don't know if we do need to hear this movie. I certainly don't need to hear Whoopi being smacked around by Danny Glover in Dolby Atmos. But it's a great film, like it honestly is. And I'm hesitant about this redo that's coming out early next year. I think this film was vastly underrated. And I think at the time, obviously, Spielberg being the director, he was known as being the spectacle, high concept director. And then he did this fantastic film. Which was vastly underrated, as is the next film he did after that.
The new one is based off the stage show, so that's the point of difference. Which is it going to have musical?
So it is musical.
Yep.
God, I definitely not interested.
Well, the original Spielberg film is kind of a musical because there's lots of gospel music throughout it, and they not sing on screen. But
do they stop and sing in this movie?
They will. I mean, according to the stage show, that's what they do. It's like Hamilton, but Color Purple.
Yeah, right. That does sound completely out of my field of interest, unfortunately.
I feel like I only want to watch it if it's a Simpsons parody of it, and the Simpsons songwriters do the Streetcar Named Desire. Like, I only want to see the
Stella!
I only want to see the New Orleans if it's sung by Mo and Chief Wiggins.
But anyway, so that one's coming out. But again, Warner being Warner, neither of these releases have any new content. It is all archival. But the beautiful thing is that Warner were one of those labels back in the day that actually did give a shit when DVD and Blu-ray were around. So we got some special features on these, all archival. But cool. Both of those releases are dropping. So that's the news, gentlemen. So I didn't just want to give you Oppenheimer. I wanted to give you a little bit extra, and we got a whole lot extra.
Well, not to mention all of the Jim Cameron stuff that's coming.
Oh, my God. Yes, of course. Last week they announced for the US and for international territories. It'll be all territories outside of Australia, because let's remember that these releases are coming out through 20th Century Studios, which is owned by Disney, and Disney have left the local marketplace. So sadly, we will not be seeing Titanic hit 4K locally in December, nor will we see True Lies, The Abyss, or Aliens hitting 4K locally March.
Maybe this is the backlash they need. Surely it's going to piss people off, right?
Well, it's ridiculous, because these are the films that people have been waiting for. Like, I mean, True Lies and The Abyss have not even made it to Blu-ray.
Yep.
So, now we're just moving straight to 4K, and there's such demand for it that, it would be absurd for them not to reconsider and just go, well, maybe we just do a couple tentpole releases like these, for instance. But I'm going to be stocking up on all of them. I think, obviously, The Abyss is getting a theatrical run, like it might be a one-night only sort of affair in the US. I haven't seen if they're doing it locally. Have you heard anything from Disney?
I haven't heard anything, but I'll tell you what, if they do, I'll be there for that.
I'll be there. And particularly because I'm going to have to wait till March to actually own it.
Yeah.
I'll be more than happy to go and see it theatrically in December. I've never seen The Abyss on a big screen.
No,
so
that's my favorite James Cameron film, and I actually think it's his best as well.
Yeah, I think it's incredible, because it's so much of everything he's done in the one film, and it's probably his most human film in an odd sort of way. But and I mean, I've really come around. I remember seeing Titanic theatrically when it first came out, and I wasn't big on it. And then I've watched it, at least probably 2 times on Blu-ray, and I really quite like it now. Yeah, I guess it was like I saw Jerry Maguire at the movies when it came out. I instantly did not like the film. and then years later caught it on TV, and I was like, God, I must have been an asshole because this is a fucking magical film. But I guess, it was around the same time, 96, 97. So, I was a young punk.
Pretentious and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I always like the art house movies like Roland Emmerich's Godzilla. Now that's a fucking movie. Anyway, so the Cameron stuff coming out. Hopefully Disney locally might rethink their decision and just decide to do these ones, even if they just parallel import the international releases, get them rated, restick them, and get them into stores, because it would make a lot of sense. And Disney don't region lock the Blu-rays, so the 4K is typically not an issue, but they won't region lock the Blu-rays anyway. But worst case scenario, I'll be importing these suckers because I need every one of them. The only underwhelming thing I found with just True Lies was that there's one sort of documentary. They didn't really specify how long it goes for or who participates in it, maybe because it hasn't been shot yet because of the strike and everything. I assume that Schwarzenegger is definitely going to be involved because him and Cameron are like this. I just read the recent Schwarzenegger biography about, doing things for other people and all that sort of thing. So hopefully he's done something for us and participated in that documentary.
Imagine if it includes The Kid and I, that little spin-off movie they made with the Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis cameoed in with Tom Arnold, and it was directed by Penelope Spheris. And
I remember
it's
that.
Actually, a pretty fun movie.
Yeah, well, at this stage, all it's got is the retrospective featurette, and then what I assume to be a photo gallery of. And I'm like, well, okay, that's cool, but where's the commentary, Cameron? You've made us wait. You've made us wait this long. The least you could do is just sit down and record a commentary with Arnie.
Well, he's too busy right now putting together the Piranha 2 4K. So
of course, and that there's speculation that Scream Factory may do Piranha 2: The Spawning in 4K just to ride the coattails of these releases. I mean, why not?
I want it.
Include both cuts. The European cut with the sexy. And, the original US cut where it's just, kind of Piranha 2 and reversible sleeve. Piranha 2: The Spawning, Piranha 2: Flying Killers.
Much better title.
We're ideas guys here, So, again, hopefully the studios listen to us. But anyway, gentlemen, that's it for me this week. So until next time,
stay physical.
Stay physical.